Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hi,
Good to see you.
Welcome.
I had a blurred out arm, so I was like, how do I?
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Well, hi. It's dematerialization. I'm
Oh,
turning
that's
into
funny.
the spirit world.
You do look like you're part of the spirit world
I
by
know,
doing
right?
that.
It's a spirit hand.
Super cool. I love that.
I know that is cool. So appropriate for tonight too.
Very appropriate. Just a little bit before we dive in and talk to you about our exciting guest that we have here. This is going to be a little different tonight. So we have Michael Mayo here. So we're going to start off really just talking to Michael about mediumship, and EQ in a second is going to tell you how we know Michael. But we're going to really, it's going to be more of a Q&A. So if you have questions that you've been wanting to know about mediumship, please go ahead and put those in the chat towards the end. If there is time, we're going to then open it up to do a few questions, not a lot. So it's a little bit of a different format tonight. So I want to make sure I got that and told you all that. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up while you're here. And hello to everyone.
Really quickly, we're not going to do mediumship questions. We're going to do tarot questions, okay? Towards the end, if there's time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
I have a tarot deck right here too, actually. Maybe we'll all be throwing some cards down or something.
Oh, cool. Yes. Come join us.
Yeah. Oh, let me grab it because it's like literally right here.
Okay.
Right, cool.
Here's the one I'll be using. I don't know. Oh, it's not letting you see it. There you go. It's tarot. And like golden ones. I haven't really used them yet.
Oh.
They're a really pretty deck. So maybe we'll throw some down.
Cool.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. Hey, who do we have in here? Okay, first, let's talk about what Kiba wrote.
Yes. Go ahead and post it. You want to post that so everyone can see?
Oh my gosh. That's very kind. That is very, very kind and very sweet and very funny. And I wish I was an Italian model, but I'm just a little Cuban medium. That's all I am. Which, I mean, that's cool too.
Yes, it is.
Of course it is.
Awesome.
Hey, Joe G and Marsha and Kristen and Connie B. Welcome. And Teresa and Janine. Hello, everyone. Jessica. Hey, Miss Lisa. Good to see you. Spirit Intuitive Tarot and Flowing. So yes, as everyone's coming in, please, again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It helps the channel. And Miss EQ, share with everyone how we know Michael.
Oh, you guys. So as you know, me and Sonja, we do mediumship. And we have to give a lot of credit to this man right here. We first got introduced to Michael, I believe it was on the Shift Network, wasn't it? You did like a 6-week, a 6-week mediumship class. Mm-hmm. And so we took the class and we were like, oh my God, he's amazing. He's just so kind, and just the way he teaches his style, and we just loved it. So after the course had ended after the 6 weeks, we decided to actually go direct with him. And so we were doing a small group mediumship. So it was like one time, I think me, you, and somebody else, like 3 of us. And then another time may have been 4 of us, but they were really smaller groups. So we can get that one-on-one with Michael. And so we credit a lot of what we know. And of course, mediumship, it's not like you take a class and you know everything. It takes a long time. There's so much, and Michael will explain more and more about that. But we just want to thank him for being here, and we're just so excited. So.
Well, I'm really excited to be here, and thank you. I really have enjoyed working with both of you. I know I've got to work with a little bit extra with EQ. I think EQ's been with me for a little bit longer, but I would love working with you too, Sonja. So, it's really exciting to get to come here. And it's a large reason why I said yes was because I already love both of you. So I'm like, hey, this is going to be fun. I'm excited to be here. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So Michael, tell us about your mediumship journey. What led you there and to where you are now?
Yeah. So basically, when I've always kind of been a person who wanted to know truth and wanted to know what God is and what this bigger thing in the world, bigger than myself, what that might be. So one of my earliest memories is wanting to know what God is. And I remember asking like a family friend, like, can you talk to me about God? Like at like the earliest age, And so I've kind of always had this sort of spiritual searching quality with me, which led me through like a bunch of different religions and belief systems. And thankfully kind of finally landed here in the mediumship world through the experience of stumbling into a mediumship demonstration. And at the mediumship demonstration, the medium, who was from the UK, came to me and said, "You're a medium, you need to start developing, and one day you'll be doing what I'm doing." And, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. I
How
literally
old
just,
were you, Michael, if you don't mind me asking?
I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just about to turn 19. It was just like a month before my 19th birthday. And I was just shocked. I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know that I could do any of this or whatever. So I went to my first development circle and got up to give a message. And I got the person's name, their relationship, important dates, like all kinds of details about the person. It just worked. I just became aware that someone was there and I just started talking about what I was getting. Well, that started everything. The next time I tried to go to do it, I thought to myself, like, oh, I guess that guy was right? Because like someone tells you you're a medium, if I went and gone and done it and then it didn't work at all, I probably wouldn't have believed that guy was telling the truth. I'd have been like, I don't know what that guy's talking about. But I went to the next week and I got nothing. I went to the next week, I got nothing. I went to the next week, I got nothing. And that really was almost like the spirit world dangling a carrot saying, okay, here's what's possible. Now go develop it. Go take the time to learn it and develop it. And then that started, my 16 plus year journey of developing my mediumship.
Wow. Again, I just want to let everyone know that tonight is a little bit different. For those that just came in, we are not doing mediumship questions tonight. We're just talking with Michael about mediumship. So if you have any mediumship questions, please go ahead and put those in the chat. And at the very end, we'll do like a few tarot questions, but I'll let you know when to put those questions in towards the end. So go ahead.
Okay, I was going to ask you if you want to speak about your institute, the Oak Ridge Institute, and any classes you may have coming up soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Oak Ridge Institute is kind of the birth baby of my lived experience as a medium, developing, and a teacher, right? So, after those instances when it took me years to develop my ability, and I ran into pretty much every single issue and problem that I think anyone runs into when they're developing their mediumship. And it kind of taught me that I could help other people in their development. So I've been teaching for many years now and decided, my dream is to have a school, both a physical location, but we'll start online so that I can connect with all these different people from all over the world. So I have an online school. It's called the Oak Ridge Institute, and it is a school for mediumship and psychic development. It had its first year birthday, I think, this month. So yay, happy birthday. And it's been going really, really well, having lots of people come in from all over the world, and it's only growing and expanding. So we offer weekly circles, so weekly development circles, kind of like the one that I went to when I started developing my own mediumship, that you can just drop in on. We also have progressive courses that take you from the beginning of your mediumship, so you can know nothing, and then take you progressively through the years of development, which is also there for you. And then we also have different events and workshops and things like that we offer. So yeah, it's really just about cultivating your own spiritual awareness, your own spiritual ability. And we go into not just like, connecting with the spirit, but also personal development as well, because we all know that that's a really important part of a medium's ability to connect with the other world. So yeah, oakbridgeinstitute.org is the website for that.
I posted
And
that
then
in
I
there
believe
for everyone.
There's a course coming up soon.
Yeah, oh yeah, thank you. I have a course that's coming up. It's starting on Saturday. It's Foundations 1. So Foundations is the beginner series, so anyone can pop into that. And if you have no experience at all, if you have some experience, it's been said that it fills in a lot of blanks. If you guys took the Shift Network one, then you took Foundations 1. So I mean, you guys could even speak on if you like that course. I mean, I'm sitting here, so I'm assuming so that you guys.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I didn't want to stop with it. That's why I was like, oh no, I want to have like, yeah, a one-on-one, mentor with you. And so it worked out great with me and Sonja because we were able to do that. And it was just, let me just say that it made me realize the things that I'd heard as a child and different experiences that I've had. It was all a part of the mediumship. I just kind of didn't want to deal with it or didn't want to hear, what could that be? I just heard something in my head. Somebody just called my name, and now that I'm open to everything and accepting of everything, right. It's where taking your course helped me to say, I'm ready and I accept.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that that's a common experience where people kind of have a lot of questions about, this experience or that experience that has occurred for them. And I think that when you have someone who kind of can guide you and tell you, yeah, that's legitimate, that's something that is a real experience that you're having, I think it kind of can make us feel seen again and not feel like we're crazy people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Okay.
Cat hair in my mouth. I have 3 cats, so.
Did you have a little hairball there? Is that what's going on?
I was over there. That was me.
Oh, that's funny.
Janine says that your journey sounds a lot like hers. And Kristen says that's refreshing to hear a medium talk about when they're not getting hits.
Oh, yeah. You want me to talk about that? Because I will talk all about me.
Yes, share with us.
Yeah, share with us.
That is a really, I want to say, commonly misconception that mediums get it right all the time. And the thing is that we don't, and that's okay. That's a part of the nature of the beast, because unlike being, using some sort of mechanical tool to bake something. If I was going to bake, I could pretty much bake whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, whether I'm whatever. But when you are the tool, when you are the thing that the spirit world has to use to bring it, it's going to depend on where you're at as a person. So sometimes you're going to be in a great place where you'll be able to get out of the way and you're totally free and relaxed. And there's going to be other times when you're very much involved in that process and you're in the thinking mind, or you're trying and you have all these pressures and things that are on you. It can cause you to not be as clear and not be as the way that we want it. And I can even tell you just today, I had about a month ago, I was in this really great spot where I was like, oh my God, this is the easiest thing I've ever done. Put anyone in front of me. This is going to be great. And then today, and then last week too, I was starting to feel it go, and I was like, why is this getting hard? I do know why it's getting hard, but it was becoming difficult because I haven't been sitting in the power regularly. I haven't been doing the things that I know I need to do to keep my awareness flexible. And what it starts to do is it starts to turn the volume down on what you're experiencing. So it becomes less and less clear because you're not going into that headspace, that surrendered, relaxed space. And that's where I'm at today. So I literally finished my reading today and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I really felt so discouraged. And that happens. That's a part of the journey. There's going to be times where you feel great about it and you're strong and it's clear. And there's other times where it's not going to be so much. Obviously, I gave the money. I didn't charge the person for the session when I can't make a link because I would never. But, it's a misconception. I mean, one of my teachers, Gordon Smith, who's one of the best mediums that's alive, he never has charged for a private sitting because of that fact, because mediumship in its very nature is inconsistent. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with charging or whatever, but he himself never charged for it because he knew that he wasn't going to be able to always provide, an excellent or incredible reading. And so for him, for his own sort of moral compass, he was like, I'm not going to charge anyone for it. And so, that's the nature of the beast. It's all going to depend on what you're doing, how you're doing, where are you mentally, emotionally when you enter into, and that's really where development is. It's why we have development. It's to work on us. It's work on our brain, not that the spirit, needs to connect with us. They're already there. They're already ready. We just have to get out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because we're not on 24/7, and we have our moments where we don't feel good, or we're going through something, or it's just one of those things. We're human, and that's expected.
That's exactly right. I always like to say, I wish I was a robot where you put a quarter in me, and I'm like, I got your mother here. Like that would be awesome. I would love it if that was my life, but unfortunately, it's not.
I do have a question here. Let's see. How do we discern whether someone who claims to be a medium is legit? I recently spoke to one and I felt like they weren't legitimate.
Yeah. So the way that we do that is, I would say, first, number one, if you can see their work. So if they have some sort of the demonstration where you can watch them work, I think that's a great way. I mean, you two do work on here all the time, so people get to see how you work, right? So it's a really good thing to be able to see someone work and see, does this feel right to me? Secondly, if they are providing evidential information where they're not asking a ton of questions. So if they're giving you the information, great. If they are, every single thing is like a question for you to answer and you're the one doing more talking than they are, that's a big question mark right there, because now they're probably cold reading you either intentionally or unintentionally. Some people are just not taught well and they're not meaning to be kind of fraudulent, but it just ends up being that way. So you really want someone who you can see their work, or even better, if someone recommends someone to you where they can, they've been to them, they've had a great experience with them, then that's also a really good way for you to, find out if they're any good. Ultimately, you should have someone who has done this for a really long time, and someone who has put in the time and energy in their development. So if you can get any of that information of, have they been taking, development circles? Have they been doing training with maybe a reputable medium or something like that? That's a good way to kind of avoid some of the things that we can run into. If a medium's ever telling you someone's stuck in between the worlds, or if there's like negative spirits that are, going to curse you and all that sort of thing, and if you give me money, I'll fix that. That's a big red flag to go outside, like get out of there, because that's really not what mediums do, and it's not legitimate. So really keeping an eye out for that sort of thing. Ideally, a medium should give you evidence about who their loved one is, and then provide for you messages about what they want to tell you and all of that sort of thing. So what is evidence? Evidence is things like personality, facts about their life, such as maybe their career, possibly even names, what their relationship to you is, passing condition. There's all kinds of different evidence that we can give to show, this is the person that we are saying it is. And then we can say, okay, and this is what they want to say to you. So that's kind of what I would say for how to figure out if your medium is legitimate.
And that's what I like that you teach too. You teach us how to find that evidential information and working on that. So that was really exciting, especially when you get something, you're just kind of like, wow, that just happened.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so exciting. And that's the thing, is like, mediums are really capable of a lot. Like, really, we have such an amazing connection to the spirit world. But if you don't develop it, if you don't work with it, if you don't, get it to its highest standard, and you decide, oh, I can get this much and that's good enough, right? Then you never get to see what the amazing things that they can bring through. I mean, I've seen EQ work many times where I'm just like, I can't believe you just brought that through. That was incredible. It makes me think of EQ, that time you talked about the bear suit.
I was getting ready to say that. I was getting ready to tell you that. That was, And you taught me just to say it, because I'm like, I see an image. There's this guy. He is in a true bear suit. He's kind of playing around in this bear suit. you know, and I just heard you in my head, just say whatever you're getting, just say it. And the fact that she understood it and, and related to it, that was like, oh my God,
Yeah, that was incredible. That's such a great piece of evidence. I mean, that's not something that we can just like, you're random, like an average person isn't walking around chasing people in a bear suit.
In a bear suit, yeah. I mean, if that's not evidential, I don't know what is.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's funny.
Here's another question here. So what are the signs that we may be a medium but not know it?
Yeah, so I had no idea. One of my signs was a medium telling me I was a medium. But the other thing is I'm a strong believer that anyone can be a medium, or most people. If you are, an average person, you probably have some level of mediumistic awareness. It's just a matter of developing your awareness. So I'm not a person who believes that, some people are mediums and some people are not. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. And because of that fact, it's natural for us to connect with this greater part of ourselves, this part of us that's connected to the spirit world all the time. And so all we're doing is changing our focus of awareness, taking it from here to where we're in my normal thinking mind and expanding it into this more subtle awareness, this energetic awareness. And that's how we meet the other world. We all have the ability to do that. It's just a matter of cultivating it, learning how to use our awareness and our mind in a very different way. Everything in our life teaches us to become active, to make something happen, to do it, right? Mediumship is the exact opposite of that. It's how do I let go? How do I surrender? How do I do less? Mm-hmm. And that is a hard thing for a lot of people to do. And some people don't have the patience to develop that, right? And it takes a lot of work. I mean, you both know, you've been working at it for some time.
Mm-hmm. Hi, event planner. and you're telling me to surrender and let go? I'm like, oh. But I have to take care of this and I have to do this and that. And it's been a really challenging journey for me to learn to trust, to let go and just enjoy the process. And a lot of that with my behavior too. And I'm sure some people have experienced this. If you're someone who's experienced trauma, it's challenging to let go and surrender because you get in that very survivor mode and protective mode. And you feel like if you let go and allow yourself to be vulnerable, that something's going to happen, something bad's going to happen. And so I had to kind of do a lot of rewiring with my brain with all of that to really, I would say these past few years began to really trust to allow myself to be in a more vulnerable state. But it does. It's then you got your little triggers that may come up. So then that's a whole thing. But yes, I love the fact that you said that anybody can do it. And there was a comment that I saw here. Kristen says, I don't have a psychic bone in my body. I mean, if I do, I'm not aware of it. So what would you say to Kristen about this, Michael?
Yeah, it's just, well, number one, belief is one of the biggest things that we need to be aware of. Our belief in what is possible for us plays a huge role in what we're capable of experiencing. And especially when it comes to things within our own awareness or our own psychology, we know that mindset plays a huge role in what we're able to achieve. And so it's a really important thing that if you are going to kind of venture into this sort of thing, is that you go, you know what, this is possible for me. It is possible that I might be able to do this. I may not know how, I may not know how to make that happen, but it's something that is there because I'm this spiritual being having this human experience. I know that there's a part of me that can connect to that. And the thing is that we often have these sort of intuitive experiences that we don't really think about are as like psychic or intuitive or whatever. People, something as simple as like knowing who's calling before they call, getting a text message and knowing exactly who that person's going to be, thinking about a friend and then finding out that they were in need at that time. So these are all examples of, things that show you, yes, I have some sort of intuitive ability there.
Okay. I'm starring questions here. Okay, here's another one here. Do a lot of mediums just shut the door to spirit, whether through fear or doubt?
Certainly, yeah. So Mediumship works best when we are relaxed, when we're open, when we're surrendered. When we have fear or anxiety, it automatically shuts our energy down so that we're not able to perceive it, which is also why I'm never worried about, things like negative spirits or things like that, because I know that if I'm afraid or if anyone's afraid of some sort of experience, whoop, our energy shuts down and now we can't interact with that and they can't interact with us. Now, I'm not a person who personally believes in negative spirits and that sort of thing, but I like to talk about that for people so they recognize even if they did exist, they can't actually interact with you. That being said, we often get fearful of the things that are we're unaware of or we don't understand. And that's what creates a lot of anxiety and a lot of misinterpretation of what we're experiencing, because we're no longer neutral. We're coming at it from a scary place now, right? So if you think of an example, like you are in your living room watching a scary movie and your friend pops in, or not a scary movie, a funny movie, and your friend pops in and goes, "What are you watching?" And then you're just like, "Oh, haha, this is, whatever show it is," right? Mm-hmm. And then now change the circumstances. You're watching a scary movie and you're like freaking out. The killer's about to get the person. And your roommate comes in and goes, "What are you watching?" You're like, "Oh, this is so terrifying," right? So your preconceived ideas and notions play a big role in what it is that we can experience. So a lot of mediums do have these very scary experiences in the beginning of their journey because they can't explain it. They don't understand it. They're feeling these sensations that might cause them to feel fear. Not because they're inherently bad, but because they don't understand it. And so it's so important for those people who do have those fearful experiences to get guidance from people who do know, who do have an experience. And then that's how we can start to open up those things.
EQ, you want to share about your experience with that, of how at first?
Oh, okay. I will before I tell that one, but I was going to say, I think Hollywood has a lot to do with how people perceive the other side. When you think about like even Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg, in the beginning, how she was a psychic and she was kind of not really in tune with hearing messages, all of that stuff. And then you think about, for me, it was movies like The Exorcist and The Shining, and all of those movies like that put that fear in me. That, oh my God, negative spirits are going to come to me. And if I start talking to, the good spirits, the bad spirits are going to come too, all of this misconception. And it's not true. Exactly.
And I actually mentioned that exact concept about, and I think I even used Whoopi Goldberg as an example of it. In the book, I wrote a book. It's coming out in December. It's called Spirit Speaks. It's a step-by-step approach to like your evidential mediumship development. So that will be coming out in December, but you can pre-order it now if you want to. Just go to Amazon. But it's I talk about the sources of where we get these misconceptions, and some of it's media, some of it's religion, and some of it's just sort of like our socialized culture that will tell us that these things are good or bad or scary or whatever. And I use that exact example of like Whoopi Goldberg. We have this expectation that mediums should be able to just turn and hear Patrick Swayze just talking very clearly to them. And that's just not the case for most of us. So not that it doesn't happen, but it's not the case for most of us.
Yeah. Sonja's talking about was kind of funny. So you guys, this is when I was it? Yeah, we're still working with Michael. I think we just started working with Michael after the shift. We were doing the one-on-one groups. And I had on my glass table, I had a can, like a soda can. And so, we were just talking casually. And the next thing I know, out of nowhere, guys, true story, the can goes from one side of the table by itself like this to the other side. So, I was like, holy what the, and then after my heart, I had to put my heart and everything back in because I was just like so scared, right? Because I never really experienced that per se, just like in your face, like I'm here. Spirit was telling me, I'm here right now.
Yeah.
And after I got past the fear, thank you, Sonja and Lisa, and some other people that calm me down. Then I remember I brought it up to you in one of our sessions, Michael, and you said, that's a beautiful thing. You're like, that's a gift.
Yeah.
They were trying to communicate with you. They were just getting your attention.
Yep.
And then so I took that fear base and said, oh, wait a minute. They didn't hurt me. That didn't happen. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so now it's like, okay, I've had other experiences since then. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Yeah, I know you're here. I see.
Yeah,
And then that's the
exactly.
thing. I think it's just getting used to it. And because I had a similar thing with my friend, we were all sitting and her boyfriend had passed, and he comes out a lot. It's really crazy how often he shows up. But we were all in the room talking, and same thing. There was a glass on the table and it moved. And I picked it up and I looked, and there was no, because sometimes you know how water kind of bubbles up underneath the glass for it to move. And I just looked, and because we were talking about him, and that's when it moved. And I just went, oh, hey, Jorge. And then we just continued with our conversation and kept going. And he's done other things where he's moved things for her. And she, the biggest, craziest thing was when she had this plaque created for him. And it was on the edge. They're down in Mexico, and they have this gorgeous house. And it's like at the edge of the cliff. And there's this plaque. There's no lights or anything on it. And we came back from being out, and it was dark outside. And we see this light that's coming from the plaque. And, at first we kind of noticed it. And then we noticed that it was still going. And we're like, interesting. So she started walking to the plaque out towards the cliff. As soon as she got right up to it, the light disappeared.
Wow.
So it's just he has special ways of letting her know that I'm here with you. Yeah. So it's just really beautiful. I love that.
Very beautiful. And
so
we can sometimes, disregard those things or see them as scary. Like some people will be like, oh no, but like you just said, it's all about your perspective. It's about how we choose to view that these experiences don't have to be scary or negative. They can be positive. They can be beautiful. They can be miracles.
Yeah. Agree.
I think we have another question here. Why am I psychic about things that don't matter, but have no clue at times about important things?
Right. Tell me about it. Yeah, it's because you're not emotionally attached to the things that are not important. So you have a relaxed awareness. There's no tension in what you're doing. Mediumship and psychic awareness work the best when we are relaxed, surrendered, indifferent about the outcome. And so because of that, it's very easy to become aware of like who's calling, what's my friend doing, these different things that really have no significance. But when we have an emotional attachment to the outcome, or we're concerned about what the outcome will be, that tension is creating a block for us to almost have a harder time. Not that you can't, but it makes it harder to become aware of what the spirit world is trying to give you, or your guides or helpers. So that would be my reasoning as to why it's easier to get the things that don't matter, and maybe more challenging to get the things that are important to us.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely. That reminds me of when sometimes I'm reading myself in terms of doing like a tarot reading for myself. But I notice when I'm so emotionally attached, I really can't read it because I want it to go the way I want it to go. I'm trying to make it work, right? And that's when I'll have to call Sonja or other, friends of mine and say, can you please do a reading for me? Because I'm too emotionally attached. And I've got to remove myself. And so it's kind of like that, what you're saying.
Exactly that. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to close this so that the light doesn't.
Sure.
Okay.
Any questions, everyone? Please feel free to put it in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. I know a lot of people have joined since we've started. So tonight's a little different. We're talking to Michael Mayo about mediumship. And so if you have any questions, go ahead and put that in. And then at the end, we'll do a few tarot readings. No mediumship questions tonight, but we'll do a few tarot readings.
Yeah. When Michael gets back, I want to talk to him also about boundaries, because I think that's so important, because again, in movies, you'll see where the spirits are coming through and people are trying to sleep. And then you've got a line of spirits that want to, like The Sixth Sense. Remember they had all those people wanting to come through and talk. And so in some cases you can get spirits just popping up whenever they want to, but it's all about you setting your boundaries. It's like, think of it as I'm a store and I have my hours of operation, and when the store is closed, the store is closed.
It's closed.
And so that's very important. But I'm gonna let Michael speak more about that, because you
yeah, I mean, you said it really, really well. And I think that something to recognize is that, sometimes you'll have people who are like, well, the spirits still come to me. Like, even though I say that, they still show up. And what I often ask them is like, okay, but are you checking to see if they're still there? Because every time that you check to see if that spirit presence is there anyone there? Are they still there? Are they hounding me still? You're actually turning your little light back on. Every time that you bring your attention to them and attune to them, you're turning that light back on and saying, okay. And then, of course, they're going to be there because you just brought your awareness to them to see if they're still there. Of course, they're spirit people. They're all around us. Their world is within our world. They're always here, right? So, of course, if I open my awareness to check to see if they're there, I'm going to keep running into it. So really, it's about our own boundaries, our own decision to say, okay, this is the time that I'm working. This is the time that I'm not. And any other time in between is just me living my normal life, right? So I just want this is just me living normal Michael life, normal EQ, normal Sonja. And then, now I'm going to put on my medium hat. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I have my gatekeeper. So open the gate, close the gate, same thing as the store sign. So whichever way you want to look at it and what feels right for you. But this is interesting, Michael. How do you feel about someone put protective prayers are important?
Yeah, so that's going to kind of depend on you and your belief system. So some people, they feel that is an important thing, and that makes them feel safe, and that makes them feel, good about working with the other world. For me personally, I don't worry about negative spirits or attachments or things like that. That's not something that I've ever had any experience with. And when I have experienced the claim that was that, I've been able to logically explain, okay, this is actually a psychological thing that someone has in their energy. It's not as consciousness. So for me, I don't subscribe to evil spirits and negative things and things like that. That just hasn't been my experience. And so I always tell my students, hey, it's optional. If you want to have that as a part of your practice and it makes you feel good, great. But if you forget to put your prayer or your protection around you, it doesn't mean that you're going to get like bombarded by a bunch of things that are going to come get you. Because if that were the case, we'd be in danger 24/7. We'd constantly be like, ooh, Lordy, please don't. We have to be doing that to protect ourselves from, something happening. So for me, I don't do it because I don't feel it's necessary. And I've been not doing it for, 16 years, and I've been okay. So.
Yeah. And Michael, you helped me with that. You helped me to change that perspective, because then I thought, well, if I feel like I have to put, the power of protection around me, that I'm saying that there's something evil outside that wants to get me, right?
Exactly.
But knowing that if I raise my vibration in such a high way and I'm already heightened, they can't get me regardless. My vibration is too high.
Exactly.
Right?
And what raises our vibrations is compassion, love, harmony, support, connectedness. All of those things that are those really positive feelings that we have are the things that, if we just embody that, you never have to get ready if you're always ready. Do you know what I mean? You never have to, stay ready, be ready, So
What advice, I'm gonna come back to this here, but what advice, Heather here says that she grew up in a haunted house and was tormented by an evil entity. So someone who has actually experienced dealing with the dark, and how can they start to work to raise their vibration so they're not in that space of if they choose to do mediumship or anything of that nature?
Yeah. So I personally feel that that spirit entities do not really inhabit spaces. So for me, it's less of it inhabiting like a home or something like that connected to the house, and more so what I think people are picking up on is energy residue of something that has occurred there. So something to learn about energy is that the way that we impact it and the way that we impact spaces around us is through our own emotions. So perfect example of this is if you walk into you're going to your friend's house and they're a couple, you walk into the room and you can feel that they just fought. right? You almost feel the tension in the air. You're like, oh, something happened. Y'all are okay? Like, what's going on here? You can feel that energetic kind of residue that's there. Likewise, if you go to a place where, you know, some sort of tragedy has occurred, like, you know, Auschwitz or something like that, where there's a density to it, there's a heaviness to the energy that is there. Or conversely, go to a place that's been a holy site where people have come with love and reverence and compassion, and you can feel there's an energy there in that place. We can't always put our finger on what it is, but we feel something, right? So it's something we need to understand about energy is that we are the ones that are impacting the space around you. Don't think of the air in the room and the space around you as just indifferent. It's actually more like a fabric. And so when we feel emotions and we feel these experiences, we're actually staining a little bit that color, that thing. So I believe that most, I will say most situations where people feel that there is a haunting or something like that, what it is actually just a sensitive person experiencing some sort of almost like a hologram, like a tripped wire, where they experience something and something else, you know, they're almost like reliving something that's happened there. Secondly, I would say when we are younger, we don't understand what these spiritual experiences are, especially if you grew up in anything that had like, you know, religion or, you know, these things that automatically mark these things as bad. Likewise, I would say if we have fear-based beliefs around this, or we, as we said before, you don't understand where it's coming from or why it's happening, we then interpret everything as a negative. So like one person might see, you know, objects being thrown across the room and be terrified by it and go, this is a malevolent spirit trying to get me. Another person, like a spiritualist medium or something, might see an object thrown and they just go, hey, Larry, cut it out. Like there's a different way to approach it. So I won't ever tell someone that, you know, I believe that the experiences that we have are very, very real, and the emotions that we experience around it are very, very real. And that is something that we should talk about and discover and see what we can find. But one thing I would say is that I always try to help the people who have had these sort of scary, terrifying things to let's see if we can find another explanation for it first and explore that. Because 99.9% of the time, you'll be able to explain that all through a different lens. Because my experience with the spirit world has never been that they will torment you or that there is even evil spirits that can harm you and do anything like that. It's about our perspective.
Yeah. And it's not to discredit anybody's experience at all.
No,
it's just
not at all.
Exploring more of what it is that person experienced.
That's exactly right. Being able to explore it, discuss it, and discover what could this mean? What else could this be? And then see if that also resonates, right?
Yeah. So I want to look at this, and then how about we do a few tarot questions? So Connie says, a friend gave a talk on 2-pack to 6 classes. She said, I sat in the back. The closet doorknob was turning back and forth. I saw and looked at a student who said, did you see that? Was that Tupac visited us? So I think that's one of those things that's open for debate.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's a possibility. I think it's a possibility.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Or maybe so unrelated to him. Who knows?
Right. Absolutely. Like, unless we had someone there that could understand what was happening, you know, it's possible that it could have been, but also could have been another spirit person, or it could have been something else happening on the other side of the door. So, you know, it's hard to really say without a little bit more information.
Yeah.
All right. Michael, you want to answer a few questions here? We'll do a few little tarot questions.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's a shorter night tonight, so we'll probably do about 3 questions. So if anyone wants to go ahead and pop that in, and I'm going to post Michael's school again. And he also has his website, which is michaelmayo.com. I'll post that in there too.
MediumMichaelMayo.com.
Oh, Medium Michael. Thank you. Medium Michael Mayo. Let me post that here.
Getting these cards ready. I've actually never done a tarot thing like online or something like that, so this will be different.
It'd be fun. Yes.
Ah, fun.
Okay. So we have our first question from Connie, and she says, how my August with the new principal going to go? How's that going to go?
Okay. So can you just tell me how you guys normally do it so I know?
Yeah, you can pull one card, you can pull 3 cards, whatever feels right for you. There's no structure. It's like what resonates, what feels right for you.
Great.
And yeah,
So
I got you,
we'll
Rose.
we'll
and
answer
Susan.
her question first, and we'll let you go last on it, just so you can
Sure,
kind of
sure,
do it. That helps. Okay. She wants to know, how will her August go with her new principal? Okay, let's see.
Okay, guys, there were 7 questions right now. Oops.
Oh, wow. Okay. I can go first. This is
Go ahead.
this is great. So, Connie B, I've got wonderful cards for you. I feel like it's going to go really good. So, the first card that I got is the Ace of Pentacles. So, that's all about new beginnings. New
Oh, you
beginnings.
guys said 8. I thought you said 8. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. A new beginning and manifesting prosperity, a new financial opportunity, stability. And since this is going to be your new principal at your job, it's going to be a newness to it, but it's also showing me the next card is the Fool. So this is like taking that leap, going on that new journey, trusting that all is going to be well. And then I got this card, which is awesome. This is 4 of Wands, coming together. So about the institution of you at your job, you guys coming together. And at the last bottom of the deck, that card is the Sun. So things are going to go well. So all positive cards. The Sun also reminds me of August, Leo, which I am. And so this has a really good feel. So I think it's going to go well. I think your relationship's going to be really good together. I feel like there's a lot of trust. I feel like you can be okay to say how you feel. And I think that they're going to listen. So I got it. Looks good. No negative cards.
She said, I love sunflowers. So that's nice.
Oh, cool.
I got good cards too, Connie. I got the Justice card. So I feel like things are really going to work out. I feel like the 2 of you are going to complement each other. Is kind of what I feel with this. And I got the 8 of Pentacles, which is really good. You're just, as you can tell, it feels like you're large and in charge, or that could be your principal as well too. But I feel like the connection is going to be good between the 2 of you. And then the Page of Pentacles, just creating that balance and the 2 of you working together, which this also displays balance as well. But it looks good at the base here. I have the King of Swords, and you can see the lines of the communication there. I think the communication is going to be good, and that the 2 of you are going to get along well with each other.
Awesome. Mine was, there we go. Yes, I'm going to do that. This is the 2 of Pentacles. A couple things that I was feeling as you were asking this. Number one, the feeling was that this person will be kind of going, I don't know if you were considering any kind of raise or some sort of shift in your financial aspect of this. Like, will this impact this in any way, having this new person there? Feel free to add in the text. But my feeling was that there's going to be a little bit of juggling and kind of a time period, because you can see this guy's basically juggling these 2 coins, and it makes me feel almost like he's going, I don't know if it's a he, I'm assuming it's a he, but makes me feel as though he's going to be kind of juggling and trying to find his way with the role. So just be okay and be flexible with kind of what this person is trying to implement into the school, because there will be a time period of transitioning. And you're going to have some people who will probably be a little bit of the naysayers, and then some people who are going to be, a little bit more positive about it. I would suggest kind of being there as a support as he tries to sort of juggle to kind of bridge that relationship. So that's kind of what I got from this.
Awesome. Well, Miss Harmony, she's showing off right now. All right. Good luck to you, Connie. Miss Susan, I have an opportunity to apply for a different job at the college where I currently work. Good idea or bad idea? Okay. So basically, should she apply for a different job at the college?
I'm going to do like the two spreads, like mini spreads, one on one side if she could stay in her position,
or if she shouldn't.
If she go to the other one. So I'll just do like two or three, and just to see what they look like. It's better energy. Mark, are you ready?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I can start if you
go
want.
for it. Sure.
My feeling is where you are right now feels like you have a lot of work on your plate, and it feels to me it's like something that you've had to kind of work at over time. It feels like you've been there for a bit, and you've kind of had to kind of be the leader in some way for that. It feels to me the next step for you is in some ways, I almost want to, well, I guess I should show you. That was the first card that I got. This is what's making me feel like it's almost like you had to like fight your way to where you need to be and like kind of push your way to grow. The second thing that I got was this guy here, which is the Knight of Pentacles, I believe. And what this made me feel is like this would be the present, where you're examining sort of what your options are, how you should go. There's something that feels good about this opportunity and applying more to this. So I feel good about having a look at it and considering it, because the way that he is looking at it in the card, I don't know if you can even say that. This blurred background is really not helpful for me. He's looking at it. He's trying to decide, which way to go. Is this valuable? And the thing is, I do get the sense that it is valuable. The last thing I got is this Wands, and this is the Three of Wands. And it feels to me like there is going to be more than one applicant. Like there's going to be multiple applicants that are going to be on it. I honestly feel as though I might think that there is going to be more than one opportunity. So there's a couple that I could see in front of you. Like one is in your hand. That's the one that you're looking at. But I actually think there's one behind you. So either you just passed up another opportunity and there's some to the, like another one that you may not be looking at. So I would say it doesn't seem to me like you can't apply, but I think you'll have more options and opportunities to come even if you didn't, is the feeling that I get. So yeah.
Yeah, I see that also. So, Susan, what I got for you, if you stay, it's kind of funny because I got this is the Page of Wands, and see, this is you like leaving, like looking for new opportunities. See that he's holding the flashlight, hopping over something new. But this is interesting. I got the 3 of blades. So this makes me feel like if you stay, I feel like there's going to be some disappointment, or you maybe wish, hey, maybe I should have did that. Maybe I should have applied. And then you got the same thing, Sonja. I feel like she's laughing. And then I got the Queen of Swords. So again, what's interesting is this is you. I feel like this is you thinking about it. But if you can see her, she's pointing, and it's funny because I have the other spread that looks so much better. It's like she's pointing, saying, "Yeah, go that way, do that way." You know, same thing with this with this card. It's also pointing to that other side, saying, "Yeah, it's brighter and better on the other side." You know, again, your choice, your decision. But on the other side, if you do decide to apply, I've got some good cards over here. I got the Wheel of Fortune. This is you. If you decide to do it, it's like, okay, you're making that leap. You're ready to do it. I feel like luck is with you because it's the Wheel of Fortune and everybody's happy. I do feel like there is going to be competition because I got the 5 of Wands. You can see all the different people that indicate competition. So there will be, competition for that. But my outcome card for you, I got the Magician, which is you planting the seeds. This is like a great opportunity, you manifesting. So I believe that if you really, really want this job, if not this one, maybe another behind it, like what Michael was saying, you can manifest that. Okay. And then at the bottom of that, I got the Page of Blades. Okay. So this is you learning something new, going into a new position and feeling really good about it. So I feel like, again, you make that decision, but it looks better for you to go to a different position.
Yeah. So what I got for you, Susan, is if you're talking about the current position right now, I have the 3 of Swords. So again, like the EQ got as well, I feel that, it's if you don't take that opportunity or look at it, you're going to have some regret there. The King of Cups, and I feel like this is you looking at your options. And the King of Pentacles, I also feel like this is you making that decision to move forward with applying for this job, and it can really benefit you here with the 2 of Cups. Looking at the other position, I feel that this is a card of sudden change. So with this new position, I think it feels like it might be something that's going to be filled quickly, or a quick turnaround, something along those lines. I have the King of Pentacles. This is a card of stability and power, and it feels like this position may be something that will give you a little bit of a boost. Like it feels that might be better for you as far as moving forward in whatever it is that you want to do. Temperance, that is going to bring some balance for you. But there may be also competition. I got the 5 of Wands like EQ did. So it may be a competitive position, but as you know, with manifesting, like EQ was talking about, it's up to you what it is that you want. So when you get very clear about your objective, align with that. And I always say too, because sometimes what we think that we want may necessarily not be what's good for us. So when you're kind of putting that out there, allowing yourself, to talk to spirits, say, yeah, if this is right for me, help me to align with this and to move into that direction. But hey, it can't hurt to apply, because if you get it, you can always say no. But at least you have the choice.
Exactly.
All right. So we're going to do one more here because we are at the hour. And that's for Rose. And she would just like us to pull a card for her.
Okay.
I'm going to pull an Angel Wisdom card for her. See what that message is.
You're welcome, Susan.
You're welcome.
And everyone, I know this wasn't really a reading night tonight. We just decided to do a few questions, but we will be back next Monday. Actually, with Debbie Freebird Spirit will be with us. So, but we will be back next Monday, and we'll be doing readings. So be sure to come and hang out.
So I have a card if I can give it to
Sure.
Rose.
Mhm.
So Rose, this is the card that I got for you, which for some reason doesn't want to be clear. Put my head right behind it, and then that way, nope, still doesn't work. There we go. And this is the One of Cups. And the One of Cups makes me feel, I really just feel like a lot of growth is what's coming forward for you, because when I see this, it's almost like a wellspring of something coming from you. So I almost feel as though that there's something within you that you've wanted to get out, or you're needing to get out, because it almost feels to me as though maybe things have been slower or more stagnant more recently. And I feel almost like this is saying, hey, you have this new opportunity that's sort of coming down, that maybe it's going to come sort of out of nowhere. So in this card, you'll see that he has like a little hand. I know you can't see it, but is there a way for me to turn that off at this point? Like, I know it's the end.
It's okay.
There's a little hand and it's coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost feels like opportunity coming out of nowhere that feels very abundant and like overflowing for you. So, and there's going to be some level of emotionality or even spirituality, because this has like a little dove in it as well. So that represents the spirituality to me. So my sense really is, Rose, that it almost feels like an inner awareness as I talk about this. Like, it almost feels like the hidden hand of support, the hidden hand of, you know, God or love or spirit or whatever you want to call it, that I feel starts to kind of be brought to the fore for you. So if it's been challenging, Rose, I just want you to know it feels like things are going to start to shift and change to something more growth and abundant-y.
You just took the words right out of my mouth, because I literally got the same thing. So I got the Three of Wands. You guys can see this. That's her, but there's an angel that's holding her hand. And you were talking about that, Michael, like someone like holding her hands. Well, here's her angel. And this also talks about sadness that needs to be healed, and things will be healed within time, letting go of the past, personal growth. That will come through some challenging times. So I do feel like right now she is in something challenging going on in her life. But they're being mended and things are healing. Because I looked at the bottom of the deck. I was just curious. And yeah, this shows me, if you can see this one, this is the Six of Wands. This is moving into calmer waters. You can see in the past, you see all of the storms back here, but you're starting to move away from that. You're starting to heal and go into a much better place. So, which is a good thing. So this is the end of depression or an illness. Things are looking up, a welcoming of relief. So you're on the right track, you know, definitely for your healing. So things are going to get better. So just know that. That's what I got.
Wow. Well, 2 cards fell out for me. I got release and abundance. So yes, Rose, just allow yourself to let go of what's not serving you, release it, and just be open to abundance to come into your life. Allow yourself to, because sometimes we can get in this space that we feel so closed off and we're not allowing ourselves to be open to receive. So keep that in mind as you're releasing and letting go of what you need to shed, and then be open to receive. So there you go, my dear. Blessings to you. Beautiful. I did want to quickly just show Michael this question, end on this for tonight. The question is, does being a medium interfere with your private and or your personal life?
How much time do we have? No, I personally haven't had it impact my private or personal life. I will say that there has been instances where maybe there have been things untoward going on behind my back, and I have known about these things and literally had like visions and things like that have occurred that were later then validated. And that's an example of like just, the intuitive side kind of coming out. And funnily enough, that actually was happening before I even developed my awareness. It was just happening because when you're very connected to another person, we often can feel them. Even with my friends, we can feel what they're feeling or feel that something's going on with them, etc. So someone that you feel close to or connected to, sometimes that can happen. So for me, I can't say it has ever impacted it in any negative way, but I can say that it's impacted it in positive ways, where I will know when I'm needed for a friend, right? Or I will know when there's something that I can do to support someone else. Or sometimes happy accidents, almost like coincidences that occur where you run into someone and you felt guided to walk over here, and then suddenly you run into a friend you hadn't seen in 6 years. Do you know what I mean? So there's different ways in which kind of having that intuitive connection can, I think, improve my experience. I have never had it be a negative per se. The only time that's kind of annoying is like if you know, like let's say I want to, like I'm going for something that may or may not happen, and sometimes I know that it's not going to happen. Like I just know immediately because I don't feel like the oomph that tells me that it will, and then I'm just like, and then it doesn't happen. But hey, I guess the alternative is knowing that it is going to happen sometimes, and I know when it's going to happen. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. I think that's probably the worst of it. Is just like, dang it, I really wanted that, but I can feel that that's not what's going to happen.
Right. But then Michael, like time passes, and then you're like, oh, that's why I didn't get it. I'm glad I actually didn't get it.
Right.
Exactly. Every single time it's that. Everything is like, oh, thank God. I mean, thinking about all the people that I was interested in romantically over my life, almost every single one, I could be like, thank God I got to that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for being here with us today. This has been a lot of fun. We appreciate you. And thank you to all you in the chat as well for being here today and hanging out with us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun being here. I'm happy to come back again anytime. Do some more of these tarot readings. That would be super fun. Or even just psychic or even mediumship readings. That would be really fun. So thanks for, getting me on here and doing some of these with me. It was really fun. So thank you.
Yeah. So Michael, when we end, just stay on.
Okay, great. Yep.
Don't log off.
All right. Good night, everyone.
All right, bye, everybody. Mwah, mwah, smooches.